The way pain and pleasure can collide during sex is intriguing. When practiced with care and good timing, they can complement each other nicely. There's nothing quite as erotic as being in the middle of a super hot sex session and having your booty slapped. The sharp sting of a spanking can heighten the charge between partners, feeding into the animalistic quality of the sex session. If you've been interested in trying some BDSM-style play, erotic spanking is a great place to start for kink beginners. It's something everyone can do with a bit of training and understanding. One of the best parts of spanking is that you don't need any fancy BDSM props to partake, only a hand and a willing bottom. What is erotic spanking? Erotic spanking is exactly what it sounds like. You're spanking someone or getting spanked for the erotic and sexual pleasure it brings. The types of pleasure that come from a spanking session are varied and will depend very much on the mood of the moment. Erotic spanking can be gentle, rough, painful, and even romantic at times. For the body, spanking releases endorphins and causes blood to flow to areas of impact. The release can be euphoric. For those who like more aggressive forms of spanking, the appeal may come from the longer-lasting pain. Sitting down and still feeling the impact from the night before can be a major turn-on. During erotic spanking, also known as consensual impact play, the top, or giver, spanks the bottom, or receiver. The spanking is usually relegated to the buttocks, but can also move to the upper thighs and other areas with fatty tissue. Spanking can happen once, a few times, or repeatedly throughout a sexual encounter. It can be performed as foreplay or during sex. Here's how to get started on your erotic spanking journey. Discuss boundaries. You should not just go in and spank someone without first knowing if this is something they're interested in trying. Have an open and honest conversation about how you'd like to be spanked or give a spanking. Here are a few ways to bring up erotic spanking. Hey babe, I was thinking it might be hot to do some spanking during sex. What do you think? I'd love it spanked me during sex. Would that be hot to you? I think spanking is super sexy. Would you be down to try it? Here's what to say when setting boundaries. I'd be okay with you spanking me lightly, roughly, but I'd have to be in the right mood. What is your fantasy around spanking? Why don't you tell me if I'm spanking you too hard or too softly? I think it's so hot when you talk dirty. Use spanking in foreplay. Adding in some spanking before you've even gotten into bed can spark erotic energy, setting the wheels in motion for a very hot sex sesh. Using your hands, swat your lover's bottom while clothed, aiming for the middle of the buttocks, also known as the sweet spot. It is enticing to many because the nerve endings of the genitals end at the bottom of the bottom, pun intended, and that gentle but firm tap slap can stimulate them. Speak up during play. Communicate while you're spanking or being spanked. If something isn't working, speak up. Simply say, babe, I love that you're super into this, but you're hitting me a bit too hard. Can we chill a bit? If you're loving it, an encouraging "yeah, that's so hot" is always great. Honest dialogue during sex is how we make sure everyone is having a good time. Consider investing in spanking tools. Once you're feeling comfortable with your practice, stocking up on toys can be a fun way to continue exploring impact play. Use spanking as part of role play. Spanking makes for a great addition to role play. It can bring you into a heightened sense of fantasy. It's ideal for teacher-student, boss-secretary, or really any dynamic that involves a dom-sub dynamic. For example, if you're doing a teacher-student scenario, you could say, "Well, Jen, I'm very disappointed that you didn't complete the homework assignment. I may have to give you a spanking. Come bend over my knee, you naughty girl."